Evening, William. How are you?
Hi, good evening. Good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, good. Firefly is not Tekka. Is that yours, William?
No, it's not mine.
Abhilash, is it yours? An
Just
What
AI?
listen.
what is that? Sorry, I missed it.
There's an AI taking notes. I'll just decline it. Yeah.
No, it's not mine.
Okay, might be some bot. Hi, Shweta. How are you?
I'm good, Anshuman. How are you?
Yeah, I'm terrific.
That's
Thanks for
good.
joining. We'll just give a few seconds more for a few people. Just today's an exciting session I have on table topics, which is exciting because I got so much interest coming in. People just wanted to know, how do I speak table topics? How do I talk efficiently and eloquently? Hi, Raj.
Hi Ansuman, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks. So
I,
I guess we get started and we'll wait and the people coming in late can watch the recording because we need to finish on the dot. I promise to let you go on the dot. So I'll share screen. Let's get started. Which is this one. This one. Share. And and can you see my screen?
yes,
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So, like the other sessions, welcome to a brand new session on how to answer table topics. And and I would encourage you to keep your mics on in case you want to pause me somewhere. Feel free to ask questions, pause, raise your hand if you want to me to answer your questions. But let's chug on to what's happening today. Quite an exciting session. So today's session we are going to discuss how to answer table topics. Now, as a new Toastmaster, I remember my first table topic session. In fact, my first Toastmaster session, and the Toastmaster picked me up to answer table topics, and I just froze. I couldn't think of anything. And then I sat on my desk and I nodded my head and I told, no, I can't answer this. Table topics and me, I think it's not for me. And then when I saw other people coming in and speaking as if they knew the answer, after the Toastmaster session, I checked with them and I told, did you know the question beforehand? They told, no, we answered it on the spot. And that poked a lot of holes in my head, thinking, how do people answer table topics? And as I progress through my all 14 years of Toastmaster journey, I've been asked the same question by all the new members coming in fact, old members as well. Like, how do I answer table topics? Is there a magic to it? And I tell, no, there's no magic to it. There's a framework which people follow. And today I'm going to tell you all the approaches, in fact, the taking table topics from a tactical point of view, is just go and blurt out something and sit at your desk, to how can you approach it on a strategic basis, and how table topics will help you grow. Really, it will help you explode in your speaking career, in fact in your Toastmaster career as well. Let's check on. Now if you see the screen, I've modified my board. I've created some PowerPoints of sort. I hate PowerPoints because I feel they take the power away. So I have written some text, and then on the right I have my scribble boards in case I want to doodle something and we want to discuss certain ideas. So let's start with, why do we think table topics is so hard? Now, table topics is one of the key skills which Toastmaster teaches. Now, if you look into the Toastmaster manual, there are no manuals about table topics. Yes, there are educationals telling it, but there's no official record of table topics. All they do is have an impromptu speaking segment and in every section. And that is where people think it's so hard. Why is it so hard? Because we think, as new people coming in fact, experienced people as well, we think that table topics, if somebody asks a question, it's not prepared. And when I'm not prepared, then we have the flight and fight response coming in. Now, what happens when flight and fight response comes in? Your heart starts beating faster, and you think your brain perceives it as a threat that, oh, somebody asked me a question, what if I don't answer? And it starts, so all the fight and flight response pumps in so much adrenaline in your blood that it starts fogging your brain, and it starts jeopardizing, starts hindering your thought process and to think clearly. So that is why we perceive it as hard. Remember one thing, it's hard because we think it is hard. The first mindset that we want to start here is treat table topics as any question which a child asks you. And yes, you might not know, but you can blurt out something. Just treat table topics in that fashion that it is, yes, it is hard, but at the same time, it's not threatening. And treat it as something as minor. So bring that threat level down. Then why should I speak? Then your question comes, okay, table topics is not hard. Now, why should I master table topics, and why it is so important for us to master table topics? Here is a secret. Remember the amount of time it takes for you to prepare a speech? Imagine you master table topics. Your speeches come out faster. Now, in table topics, it's 2 to 3 minutes. But moving on, you start expanding that skill. Imagine a speech idea comes in your brain, and if you master table topics, it's impromptu speaking, you can take your phone out and speak out something, and that's your speech ready. How cool is it? It is it not? So it's a vital skill in your Toastmaster journey because it helps you prepare your speeches faster. The second benefit of why it is important is it helps you, table topics helps you gain that important crucial skill. So just think about going into an interview. Yes, you are prepared, but then you don't know what the interviewer is going to ask. You don't know, and then the questions start bombarding and you answer it. But imagine you mastering the skill, you master the strategies which I'll give you today, and you present it in a structured manner which really makes sense and can move the audience. That skill is crucial. So that is why it is one of the most important skills. In fact, the most underrated skills in Toastmasters is table topics. Then how can table topics help me in real life situation? I just told you about the interview. Just imagine, where will it not take you? So imagine your boss asks you to prepare a presentation. You don't have that luxury of days together to prepare a presentation. You are told in the morning to prepare a presentation. With the art of table topics, you can create structures and meta structures just like that and start writing bullet points, and there you are. And the good thing about table topics is you are now, it's like batteries included. So table topics are the batteries of the public speaking. That means you are now ready with less time. You move with less time, you start moving into presentation mode. So you take less time in preparing your presentation. In fact, focus more on practicing the presentation and then on the delivery. That is key crucial time, is it not? Just think about the last time you prepared a presentation for office. How many hours did you spend in writing or beautifying the slides, animation coming from here, from there, from top, oh God knows how many. And then when it comes to delivery, you totally fall flat. You fumble, you don't know how to answer. Table topics gives you that crucial, I would say, that crucial, what's that word? A head start to start your presentation. You are leagues ahead with your colleagues. And imagine what it would do to your career. Now, we discussed approaching table topics the tactical way. Like you come to a Toastmasters meeting, somebody answers you, you wish you are not asked. Somehow you present it, you sit, you take feedback, and that's the end of it. You come again, and as you progress through the years, you start gaining confidence little by little. But imagine, and that's the tactical way of doing it. The challenge with being tactical there is you solve the problem just for that night. You do not carry the lessons to yourself back into your real life to apply it in a strategic way. What if you approach it in a strategic way? Now, by strategy means table topics, to answer table topics, you use it as your growth machine to increase your skill in public speaking. And I'll tell you how to approach. I think I have 6 strategies how you can answer any question that's thrown to you. Just any question. Let's start with strategy 1, the timeline. The timeline, so what is a timeline? And this is a quite classical way of putting in. The timeline starts with, I will use my pen. Timeline starts with somehow my machine is not working. Yeah. Timeline starts with 3 phases. You know what? That's fine. I'll just put post it and we go with that one. Starts with 3 things. One is it starts with a beginning. It's like past. The next is present. And the third one is future. This is what we call as the classic structure. Future. So, for example, what will happen when I put in the past, present, and future? You can tell in the past. So when they ask you a question, say, what if you are born in the era of dinosaurs? I'm just making up a topic. You tell, if I'm born in the past, then you can go back to your childhood. As a child, I can play with dinosaurs. I can make new friends with dinosaurs. I can make pets. But today, dinosaurs are no more. And you tell today dinosaurs are in the fossil museum. But in the future, I can take my child to this park or this theme park and progress. And that is how I just created I just gave you an example how you can use the timeline of the past, present, and future to answer a table topics. But does it suit? If it doesn't work, I have the second strategy, the pros and cons. If you have a question, especially around a closed-ended question, what do you think about vaping? I'm just making it out. Then you can say, I don't vape, but I have many friends who vape. They think it brings a social aspect. You can start with a pros, and then you can take the audience to the cons and do a summary. So that is strategy number 2. So I'm just giving a real life example. I'm just thinking out of the box, putting one topic and showing you how it is done. It's as simple as pros and cons. All you need to do in your Toastmaster session, have these written it and close your eyes and pick a strategy, and that's your strategy. There is no one strategy that is actually all the strategies work. You just have to pick one because time is limited. You just pick one and go with it. So in improv, we have improv theater. We have yes and means accepting whatever question comes in. I will accept and I will answer the question. So that's the pros and cons. The third strategy is a STAR. It's a very common strategy used in interviews. STAR stands for situation. I'll use the post-it, it's easier. There are 4 post-its. Situation. Then you have, and you would know this, you would have a task. You have an action. And then finally, the answer is the results, typically used in interviews. Results. So let's say a table topics question that pops in my mind is, what would you do if you are Prime Minister for one day, Prime Minister of Australia for a single day? You can start with the situation. I'm surprised I'm the Prime Minister. So what am I, so what task am I doing is I will list out what was the task is. Yes, I'm the Prime Minister. You can describe how you were elected the Prime Minister for a day. Might be you won a lottery ticket, or Donald Trump told you, hey, you be the Prime Minister. He suggested. So you can make up that story there. Then you can tell the actions. So what I will do is I will eradicate, say, taxes for one day. No tax on alcohol for one day. No tax on, say, no GST. I hate GST. So put in GST there. And the results, you see people are happy, people are enjoying, and people. So this is how I just came up with an answer to a table topics is using the STAR method. You put in a situation, you put a task in there, and then you did some action, and finally the results. And this is, my friend, will help you in your interviews. And if you are into, you start seeking for job and all, it will be really beneficial for you. The next one is the personal story. This is a very common theme, personal story. Just when somebody asks you, tell me something, then you just pick up a memory of your childhood or your adulthood. Just pick up any memory and go with your story. So story structure, again, we saw it last session. It starts with a conflict. Uh, You first give a context. A conflict, and then the entire story is how you resolve the conflict. And finally, the last bit is you moved on to tell, how did it help you, or the message. Example, our table topics can be, what would you do if you are participating in the Olympics? Fair question. I just came up with that question. The context. Now, given that I am in the Olympics, the challenge is I am an asthmatic. I cannot run. I cannot swim. Every time I have to go with the steroids. But I have a plan. I'm going to train myself. I will give myself 60 days to prepare myself for the Olympics. So that means I'll get a good coach that will motivate me. I'll get a psychologist that will help me with my mindset, and I'll prepare my level best and participate in the Olympics. But in the end, participating in the Olympics is is a matter of glory, and it's a matter of personal pride. And even though I lose, it doesn't matter. It's participation that counts. So I just came up with, and in actual table topics, you can elaborate all these segments, but this is one story you can come up with. So 9:20, we have 10 minutes more. We're chugging good. Strategy 5 is the opinion. Now, like we had pros and cons, this is the opinion. So again, one question comes like, what would you do? Say an opinion, which movie would you like to go with your family? What kind of movie would you like to go with your family? If that question comes, I will answer that question with an opinion, means my opinion about movies. Then you can expand that opinion, telling what do other people think. You state your opinion, you state others' opinion, and finally, in the end, you come with a common ground. Now, why does this work? When you put in like pros and cons, this is my opinion and others' opinions, it adds contrast to your message. It helps the listener understand two parts of the story. One is my opinion, others' opinion, and finally, what should we be doing? And you can encourage the audience to take up your opinion to do that. So that is the opinion. And finally, we have strategy 6. If all of this doesn't work, twist the question. Now, what do you mean? Are we allowed to twist the question, as you will ask? Yes, you are allowed to, because table topics is, yes, answering the question, but at the same time, it is your thought process about how you answer the question. You are the master, you are owning the stage. That means if a question comes and you have absolutely no clue how to answer it, for example, if you pick a food with you and you're allowed to pick only one food, what will you carry with you when you go to Mars? I don't have any clue about how to answer the question. And yes, I can answer with the other strategies, but twisting the question, how do I twist the question? Why Mars? Let's take me to the Great Australian Desert. That red desert near Mount Uluru. It's red, and it's no different from being in Mars. And because of Mars, I will pick my a pack of Snickers with me, because A, it has peanuts, gives me calories, and it gives me enough energy to last for the full day. So there you are. You twist the question and you can build up that answer. So my friends, these are my 6 strategies for you. Try to pick up any strategy, and there is no right or wrong. Just pick any strategy and start to working on it. So for example, here's my challenge. Pick one table topic question and try to answer the same table topics question in all the 6 strategies and come up with different answers. See how it works for you. And because I told you about practice, finally, I have 2 more slides. One is some tips, and finally, the final one is how to keep the practice going. Tip number 1, don't answer the question immediately. When you ask the question, pause. Take time, take a breath, think about the question, and then answer. In that thought process, that quietness, the few seconds or few microseconds, that is enough for you to structure. So in that quiet time, you just pick up one idea, pick up one strategy, and you plant it together. The second is, don't rush to the stage. From your chair, walk, not very slow, you'll be labeled as sloth, but walk slowly to the stage. As you walk slowly, you gather in your thoughts. And that is the reason in Toastmasters, we always recommend the Toastmasters, the table topic speaker, ask the question and then picks the audience rather than the other way around. I've seen in clubs where they call you on the stage and here's a question. I feel that is unfair. It's always better to ask the question, so that means everybody is now thinking and they pick one person out. Wait till the table topics master takes his seat. That is also gives you additional time to think. Smile and acknowledge the audience. That's quite crucial. When you smile, it removes, first of all, your nerves, and then it also calms the audience. Smiling is a very good strategy. Smile, and then you start. The last, fifth point, repeat the question and pause, and then answer. You don't need to answer immediately. Repeat the question, and then you answer. So when you speak table topics, you are walking in two tracks. You are thinking in two tracks. One track is actually speaking, and as you speak, the second track, and as you start developing the skill, the second track, it's like you have two brains, right? Left and right brain. Left brain is engaged in speaking. Your right brain is actually imagining and supplying material to your left brain to speak. So that is the reason, take it slow initially. And sixth tip is my personal, act like you are thinking too hard. And then people are surprised, oh, act like you are thinking too hard. Not so I mentioned act. You know table topics is easy, is that mindset. But you think, you scratch your head, think about it, and then you answer. That gives you some extra time as well. It's all to buy in some time to help your brain think. And finally, table topics is embracing the unknown. Just think about your travel to the office and traffic, right? You don't know what signals will turn red. You even don't know, yes, you have planned a route, but sometimes routes are busy and you might need to weave across unknown paths. Whatever is guided by Google or your GPS, you go there. So, so embracing the unknown is quite important here. Once you embrace the unknown, and then the unknown becomes known. So at home, practice out loud. So what I use, and point number 3 is AI. You open ChatGPT, you tell ChatGPT, I'm now practicing table topics, give me random topics and wait for my answers. Chat, and you use AI to train yourself. AI gives you a question and you just answer. Really doesn't matter the answer is right or wrong or whatever. That is how I learned from an experienced speaker how they practice table topics, and I've been doing it. So the thing is, we are building that muscle, because table topics speaking is a muscle. The more we practice it, the more it strengthens. So then when you arrive at the club, you are always ready. And finally, fail often. I would say failure is good for you. Doesn't matter. And yes, there would be times where you will go and nothing pops up. But you walking to the stage, taking some strategy and attempting to answer the question is quite important. Often we fear failure, and that fear stops us. It actually stunts our growth. I want you to treat this failure as a teacher. It actually teaches you. Every single experience teaches you. So we just wrapped up. So to just sum up what we have discussed quickly, I will just go through the slides. 29, we finished on time. I will send you the slides in the pack. We discussed why table topics is important. We discussed approaching table topics the strategic way, discuss the 6 strategies, discuss some tips, and then finally concluding thoughts. We will wrap up here, but I will remain open for 15 more minutes. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. Yeah, any questions? I'll stop share. So then we can have a chat.
Oh, great tips, Anshuman. These are really wonderful strategies. I never thought that we can use these 6 strategies. Awesome. Good going.
Right? Are you 7 o'clock now?
Yeah, Maithili? Thanks, Sujata.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Uh, Great. I mean, yeah, even I have the same thoughts as Sujata, on,
7 o'clock.
learning.
Yeah, I'll just
I
mute.
think somebody needs.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah. So
Uh,
go ahead, Maithili.
so yeah, just one thing that came to my mind as you were going through the strategies. Again, because I'm new to Toastmasters, maybe it's a very naive question. But these strategies, I believe I could also apply to uh, a talk or like an icebreaker or any
Exactly.
other.
Yes,
So or is there? I mean, I understand the time that you talk about this is shorter. Like maybe say if I go with pros and cons, I just have to give one pro, one con, and conclude.
that's
Unlike
it.
where I might give 2, 3.
Yes,
But you see, I can apply strategies either
exactly. Because
ways, right?
table topics is actually a speech you are presenting.
Right,
The
right,
structure
right.
is a beginning, a body, and a closure. In
Hmm.
fact, it is a mini speech compressed into 3 minutes. You can.
Hmm.
The reason we are training you in table topics is it will start helping you in your actual speeches. You're just
Hmm.
in the end, like I told the office example, you are called to give a talk. You just pick
Hmm.
one and just elaborate it just to fill time.
Hmm.
And there you have. You can pick any strategy and you can expand it to your speech. Yeah, perfectly spot on.
Awesome. Thanks. Thank you so much, Ansuman. I mean, unless somebody else has, I just had one last question.
Yeah,
Sorry.
please.
So one part of table topics is that you're giving the speech. The other side of the coin is you're evaluating somebody. I just wanted to understand the thought process that goes in, because I believe it should be a little different from when you're actually evaluating a speech, given the time constraint and the anonymity of the question or the topic. So any tips or tricks that, I mean, for me, it's always good to understand what my evaluator is looking out for in my speech. So if you could just help with, how the evaluation is done.
Ta- Here's the trick. There's no difference between a table topics evaluation and a speech evaluation. The purpose
Okay.
of a table topics speech, if you look into, so I'll in the next session we'll discuss about contests. So that
Okay.
is the where we bring in our A game and why we should practice and participate in contests to explore our growth. When a table topics evaluator, what he or she looks into your speech is A, they look at structure. Then second is because it's an impromptu speech, they will take it a bit lightly. Does the entire speech makes any sense?
Mm.
And third is they look into the other qualities like how well. So public speaking is divided according to Toastmasters is 3 segments. In fact, 4: content, delivery, your language, and finally your body language and all. So, but 3 segments. So content, delivery, and your language. The
Mm.
evaluator mostly will look into content and delivery. How you delivered? Were you nervous? So typically, most of the table topic speakers will look for your nervousness because when it comes to table topics, our unconscious gestures. Hey Tracy, thanks for joining. Yeah, so they will look for nervous gestures, like our unconscious mind kicks in, and you'll see men typically hands in the pocket, women if they wear a jacket, hands in the pocket, because we are afraid. We are that's the mindset that we are actually feeling afraid, but still we are being brave enough to speak. As you start speaking, you start managing your body language, your body shows. They look specifically to answer your question. They will look into the delivery, where are you moving across the stage. They will then they will look into your body language, certain gestures that was good. Then they will look into the structure. Was it really making any sense?
Mm.
In the structure itself, there is other parts. but I will take it
Mm.
in the next session. So,
Sure.
Maithili, I'll send you the recording of our past sessions. I've taken a hour-long session on how do you evaluate people.
Oh, okay, that would
So
be great
there
as
it
well.
covers the metastructure of evaluation again. That will answer most of
Okay.
your questions.
Okay, because I was going through the section, for icebreaker, if you have to prepare the steps that you should do. So there was that sheet that I saw that evaluators use to evaluate you, but
Yes.
I was trying to understand more of, what I need to add in my speech.
Mhm.
Again, it's not because, I need bigger grades, but that'll help me. I mean, I'm sure that's structured around how somebody is speaking, like, a public speaking session. So that's the
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah. Again, the structure that Toastmaster gives is very generic.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
if you watch my session, I've given, in fact, I'll share my screen. I'll show you what, and you can have a look into that. I'll share my screen. So if you look into this one, okay. So if you see, I have created this page where all the recordings are there for past one, and I picked on evaluation. So section 5, the art and science of evaluation, and I put in the session recording, and I've given a template for evaluation. See,
Okay. Okay.
speaker commendation, recommendation, and I'll just expand it. And here, if you see, I've given an evaluation template. I've asked my mentees to have a look at. And this gives you a structure around objective, and then asking some important questions that helps you evaluate, like what I have a framework known as what, why, and how.
Mm.
So if possible, if you can watch this session, Maithili, that will
Sure.
help you, and then we can have this chat again.
Awesome. And so
Yeah,
is
I'll send you the
this,
link.
yeah, okay. Thank you. That'll be great.
Thanks. Any other questions before we wrap up? I know it's very cold winter, and thanks for coming in. Thanks for joining. I'm trying my so today morning I was thinking, no, I will just postpone the session. I'll just go there. But I know a few people are depending on me to help them. So I'm here. I'm showing up in front of you, and I want you to show up as well, because the biggest skill that you will ever have or get from Toastmasters is to learn the art of showing up. And you are showing up at work because you are paid for it. At Toastmasters, you don't have any onus to show up, but you are showing up to learn and investing this skill in your journey of public speaking. You'll be amazed how much you'll grow from 1 year just focusing on public speaking session deliberately rather than doing it automatically on a Toastmaster session, because I'll push you.
Yeah, awesome. I know. I mean, I deeply appreciate your time and the knowledge you share with us. Yeah, let us go for a coffee sometime with everybody. Like we definitely want to say show our appreciation to you. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
anytime we'll do that. Plus, okay, just to wrap up, if you have a speech, I have 3 in my backlog. I have Sujata's speech I have to evaluate, Raj's speech she has written, and Tushar's speech, and finally Abhilasha's speech. I think as a Patrick's speech. I'm creating a full evaluation pack for all 5 of you, and I'll send it through. And
No
during my
worries.
evaluation, I will also show you. In fact, I'm actually modeling what I do, so then you can pick up those skills as you evaluate other people. Because and it's a different piece when you evaluate somebody. What my technique is, I I will watch the recordings and write notes in front of you, and I'll present. Then you'll figure it out that how important table topic session has helped me, because right now, imagine this full presentation. Do you know how much time it took for me to prepare? 15 minutes to prepare the presentation. Just imagine. You just put in the points, and for me, as you start growing in skill, every point is a table topics. And and it's so important that skill is you start writing, because you have the thought in your mind and you start presenting. So take heart in whatever you are doing, invest in yourself and in your table topic skill, and build that table topics muscle. Thanks, Sujata. Any other questions? We have Pipsan, Raj,
Yeah.
Philip.
Yeah, mine one is not a full speech. It was like a 2 minutes, as you said last time. Write down your 2 minute story. So I took just 20 minutes and wrote it down and sent it to you.
That's
It was
perfect.
not
I
a full
really
speech.
like the structure that you put in. You put in all the elements. Yes, it is short, but remember, once you put in a small story, it's like a seed. You plant it and it starts growing like anything. So,
Yeah,
so put that speech in, because then you have more things to add on. You have the bare bones, the skeleton. You can add meat onto it till it becomes a human being.
yeah. Today's
Well done,
session
Raj.
was very good for me. I always took table topics as an atom bomb to me. But now I will take as a Diwali pop-up patakas, but they are still scary.
You can have Diwali. When somebody asks tabletop, you think it's a Diwali bomb.
Yeah, that will bring smile next time.
Thanks, Raj. Pipsan.
Alright.
Hi, Ansuman. I have a question. It's a general question.
Yeah.
When when a topic is given to you and when you start working on it, do you imagine in your mind? Does it come as a picture in your mind? The certain links that you want to join and write it, or how is the thought process
Yeah.
for you?
You're talking about table topics, right, Pipsan?
Yeah. When
Yeah.
when you're given a subject.
Yeah. When you are given a subject, you don't have pen and paper. You
Yeah.
just have your mind to write, right? You don't have a luxury to write down the points. You have luxury to think. What I do is I pick one strategy that comes in my mind. First of all, I pick one memory I have that comes in my mind. For example, okay, I won the area table. Okay, see you, Sujata. In the area, see you, Maithili. In the area contest, they asked me a question that what is the one thing that you will take with you if there is a fire in your house? And the other table topic speaker, and eh, so what my answer was, I'll just carry my clothes with me. And it generated a lot of laughter. And once I put in that idea, it comes as an idea first, and then you start expanding, and then you give the reason why you did that. I use the star method there. So give a situation, then what did you do the task, then you do the uh, star. You did the action and then
Task,
the
action,
result.
and result.
Yeah. So pick one theme and just stick with it. Trust yourself and sit with it. No need to make it perfect. Just go with whatever works for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you remember those links? Is that
You don't
something?
remember. You just pick one and you start working to it. You don't remember. You just pick your one memory and you start constructing a story as you speak. Does it
Okay.
make sense?
Yeah. We just pick up a subject and then at the same spot you have 15 minutes, so you have some points that's there
Yeah,
in
you
your
have 3
mind, and then you
minutes.
link it. Is
3
it
minutes.
3
Table
minutes?
topics.
Oh yeah.
3 minutes. So you pick one subject, you pick a situation, and quickly. And as I said with table topics, you start slowing down your brain. In fact, you quicken your brain. Your brain starts thinking so fast. With practice, you start experiencing time slowing down. I know it sounds woo-woo, but you start slowing down the time. So that means because your brain is thinking so fast, you start slowing, your time suddenly feels slow. And as you speak, because you would have thought about the idea. So that's the reason initially start going slow. That time you're thinking, and there wait for the Toastmaster to sit, take a pause, take a breath, and then you answer. So that gives you 4 or 5 vital seconds to think, and that's enough to construct this speech.
Yeah.
Yeah, all good.
Okay.
Thanks, Pipson.
Thanks, Anshuman. Thanks.
Philip, you had any questions?
You're talking to me?
Philip.
Philip, okay, sorry.
PK.
Sorry, yeah, can you hear me now? Okay, I'm
Yeah, I
talking
can.
with the okay.
Philip.
Yeah, thank you very much, Asman, for this strategy in your framework. Yeah, it's very helpful. Yeah, you tell us to relax, right? But I mean, is sometimes what I worry is making a terrible mistake or something, very bad
Mm.
coming out of the mouth, under pressure. Sometimes
Yes.
we are under pressure and then we come out, not relevant or not appropriate thing. Those are how we can prevent those kind of things.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. First of all, what I would suggest is acknowledge that feeling. Yes, it is nervous. Yes, it is nerve-wracking. I acknowledge. At the same time, tell it is a safe environment. I tell to myself. And say, for example, at your home, you are allowed
Mm.
to speak anything, right? People will not
Yes, yes.
take any offense to what you speak, unless, of course, you
Mm.
use other bad language and all, which mostly
Mm.
I would say you will not use. But uh, from your inappropriate means, if you speak something which might not make any sense. So the answer to that question is whatever comes from your mouth, the first thought that comes from your mouth, just trust that process and stick with it. Even though it does not
Mm.
make any sense, stick with it and you will figure a way out. Pick one
Mm.
strategy, and that's the reason we are putting in strategies in there. So
Mm.
in those vital 3 or 4 seconds, think, okay, this memory pops in, and this is my strategy. So if you use it at a strategic manner, the level of failures will become rare, rather than just
Mm.
going blind and telling, okay, ask me a question, I'll think and answer.
Mm.
So as you start walking to the stage, think about, okay, this is the idea that comes in. This is one. And if something else comes in the mind, and mind wants to speak that, stick with it,
Mm.
put in a framework, and there you go. So
Okay.
you can go pros and cons, and that's the reason it's vital you practice it offline, not in the stage. Practice it,
Yeah.
pick a topic, and use the 6 strategies and practice the 6 strategies on a single topic. And how will you answer one question differently? And as you start
Mm.
practicing, it becomes a muscle.
Mm.
Yeah, PK, Philip.
Yeah. 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 Get it, Asman. Yeah.
All good. Thank you for your
Yeah.
time, gents, and
Thank
I'll
you. Thank you.
see you if you join me next week, or you can see my recordings if you can't make it.
Sure, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Mm.
Have a nice night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.